Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to my podcast. My name is Lynette. Today we're going to talk about someone is always trying to steal your identity. And by that, another word for all of that would be control. And I'm going to talk about people that try to control you. Even if it's so subtle, it takes you a while to catch on to the fact that that's what they're doing. Control comes in many forms. It can be something as simple as you saying, I would like some vanilla ice cream, and they say, no, chocolate is better. And if you stick to your guns and you say, no, I really would like vanilla, they almost get angry. They almost get angry that they can't control you in the smallest way. And then, of course, control can build on and on and on until it becomes a real problem. But for the sake of this podcast, we're going to start with a low-end form of control. It's really interesting. You can be going along as a strong individual. And when somebody comes in and tries to take control, regardless of how subtle it is, and I'm going to give you an example with me. Because I'm having mobility problems, I have to depend on people a lot. So I'll say something like, help me move my leg over to the left a little more, whatever. And they'll say, no, it's better over here. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, you're going to tell me what makes me feel better for my body. As this went on, I noticed that I start to almost get into arguments with certain people trying to tell me what is best for me and my body. And I thought, that is extreme. I never put my finger on it as control until it happens so many times. And I found that when I say what I like or what I feel is right for me, it becomes an argument. So the thing that is exhausting about this is that it's a constant battle to just be who you are. And there's some people that will try to control you just for the sake of seeing if they can control you. But once you put your foot down and establish who you are and know who you are, then that diminishes. But it is interesting with so many things in life, people will try. I don't know why, but they do try. They try to put their agenda on you. One thing that happened to me, and I didn't even realize this as controlling, and as I look back, I can see how many times people have tried to control me, but I was oblivious to it. But I remember someone that I love and respect very much. They were into listening to predictions. And that's fine. If that's what they want to do, that's fine. But they felt the need to always tell me about the doom and gloom that was coming. For example, that the Golden Gate Bridge was going to be blown up. Now, being someone who went to San Francisco a lot, I didn't want to hear that the bridge was going to be blown up. So finally, I said to this person, quit talking to me about the negativity. I don't know why they felt like I needed to hear it. Or perhaps maybe I was the person who was maybe too polite to say, stop talking to me in this way. So maybe they preyed on me. I'm not sure what it was. But after I put my foot down and said, I don't want to hear this negativity anymore. Stop telling me these things. This is where people really try to control you. Their comment back to me was, well, then I can't talk to you anymore. And I felt bad initially. But what they were saying is that you let me treat you or say to you anything I want to, or I'm not going to be your friend or whatever the relationship is anymore. So people that do that to you, They will try to get you to conform to who they want you to be. Another example is that, now mind you, I'm going to go back and reinforce that I didn't recognize this as controlling initially. I knew it made me feel bad. I knew this constant negative stuff, especially a prediction. Like I've shared with you before, we can deal with reality. We can deal with what's happening in real time. But when someone's going to come to me with a what if or a prediction, I can't deal with that. Anyway, another situation that happened that I'm going to share with you, it was a very subtle controlling, is that for various reasons, I have different people that work for me. And if they had to quit, maybe a better job, whatever the reason was, someone very close to me said, "It's because you're too commanding." And I thought, I don't feel like I'm commanding. Maybe I am, because I cared about this person. I valued their opinion. And so when they said it, I took it as face value until these types of things started happening over and over. And I thought, oh my gosh, this person surprisingly and subtly is a controlling person. They try to make me feel bad for the things that I like or I enjoy or that I'm working toward, whatever the situation is. So I basically came to a place, and this is what you all should be aware of. Think about it. Think about who's around you and the subtle ways they do things. Are they trying to control you? And there's different ways of controlling you. Like I said, telling you what you need instead of listening to you, what you want, what you know you need, or threatening to cut you off if you're not going to conform to who they want you to be. So when someone does this to you, you need to really take a good look at yourself and feel grounded and steadfast in who you are. You know what you need. You know what kind of person you are. And like to say, I'm commanding. I know without a shadow of a doubt I'm not commanding. I valued this person's opinion, and they made me feel bad. And then I noticed over time, it was like any opportunity to make me feel bad. They took advantage of that. And I don't know why, because I think this person really finds value in our relationship. However, these are just examples of what people do. They may not even be aware that they're doing it, but the bigger picture is people are going to come and go in your life, and people are going to try to push their limits. And I don't know why, but some people want you to behave exactly how they think you should behave. And that's why it's so important to be strong in who you are, to be your best self, to know that you're making the right decisions, to know that you're processing correctly, and to know that you're not what other people's opinion of you are. Remember, their opinions are based on what they can get from you, what they can get out of you. And I'm not saying everybody does this. And I'm not saying that people that do this don't love you. I don't know if it's a subconscious need on their part, but people like this do come into your life, and it does cause confusion, and it does cause you to question yourself. But when you're established, when you're standing strong in who you are, people can say and do whatever they want, and you just internally know it doesn't matter because it doesn't move you. It's their problem, not yours. Sometimes I think it's a bit of jealousy, or sometimes, and I don't know this as a fact, but I think people can sense when you're doing well, when you're starting to feel solid in who you are, when you're becoming your best self, when you're putting one foot in front of the other. Some people get intimidated by that, And it goes back to someone trying to keep you where you were in the past because it's their comfort zone. It makes them feel better because they know what to expect from you. And I think some people try to control you when you start to flourish and live to your full potential. As we walk in life, as we grow, as we change, new people are going to be coming in and out of our lives. And I know and I believe everybody has good and bad. So when you become a discerner of people, you're more likely to take the good and leave the bad. But if you find that the bad is outweighing the good, then you have to outweigh that friendship or whatever relationship you have with that person. But for the most part, everybody has good and bad. And so if you can tell yourself that I'm going to take the good and leave the bad. Personally, I don't think you have to argue. I used to argue and stick up for myself. Now it's like, well, to be honest with you, I'll share this with you what I do. When somebody does something that's upsetting to me or says something that doesn't make me feel good or happy, in my mind, I visualize it. When they're shooting something at you, I just visualizing it making a little U-turn and going back to them. And that way it's off you, it's on them, what they said is coming back at them, which in life that happens anyway. It's called karma. Kind of goes back to as you start to succeed in life, I used to think people that loved me or that I loved were going to support me the most and be right there. But it doesn't always work that way. I don't know why. I don't know if other people get intimidated as you grow. As I said earlier, it throws them out of their comfort zone with you. But we don't want to stop growing for anyone. We have to be our own best friend. We have to know within ourselves that we're climbing that ladder, that we're becoming successful. We're becoming the best person that we want to be. And what's interesting is you can make a decision to hold yourself back because you sense that the people around you don't want you to change. But believe me, you're doing a huge disservice to yourself. And as I said in a previous episode, is as we climb the ladder, as we become successful, as we move forward mentally, physically, emotionally, in every way, everybody is welcome to come along with us and grow with us. It's their choice, but if they choose to stay where they're at, it doesn't mean that they won't be a part of your life. But if someone chooses to grow and walk forward with you, then you're supporting each other. But regardless, if we get that support from anyone else or not, we have got to learn to give it to ourselves. We've got to know where we're taking strides to move forward. We've got to give kudos to ourselves. Don't expect it from anyone else. For whatever reason, the people that you think are going to be really happy for you are not always happy. And as I said before, because it takes them out of their comfort zone when things around them are changing. But do not hold yourself back for anyone. Keep growing. And like I said, anyone who's around you is welcome to come along and grow too. So as you grow and as you take steps to move forward, not only is your life going to change in a better way, but you're going to feel happier. And pretty soon you will learn to count on just yourself. And any support is a blessing. I hear people all the time that have really supportive people around them, and I think that is so amazing because it means that that person loves them unconditionally. But if we have people around us that love us also, but for some reason are holding back on their support, maybe they're a little fearful that you're going to outgrow them, then you've got to take a strong stand in who you are and know what your own truth is, regardless of what anybody says. In all the episodes we've talked about becoming our best selves, becoming the person that we were meant to be, becoming happier, becoming healthier. And all of that is an individual decision and an individual walk. And there will be people on the wayside, or they can come with you, or they can sit idle. And they're still part of your life, but not moving forward as you are. So we got to keep moving forward. We got to keep becoming successful. And the people that come into our lives now are more in line with who we have become. And it's a very exciting thing. But with all things being said, we've got to know within ourselves who we are, what we are. And we've got to know our own success, and that the decisions we make, the way we process things, the way we interact is absolutely right. And with that, there is so much freedom. And believe me, once you reach that peak, you will be more help to people than you would have ever been if you stayed where you were. Because by taking steps to become the best person that you want to be, you become a leader. And as a leader, you can extend your hand to people around you to help them grow and become who they're supposed to be as well. And then the choice, ultimately, for their own life is their choice. But regardless, none of the choices we make should be about other people. There's always extenuating circumstances, and I'm not talking about that because we've already talked about the importance of keeping your priorities straight. But I'm talking about in general, in life, as an individual. You want to be the best person you can be. It's about who you are. And I know I've talked about that country western song. I can't remember how the lyrics go exactly, but it's when you reach where you want to be, you turn around and extend a hand to the person behind you. With that being said, have a great week, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.